Potter meets Lord of the Rings meets Elfenlied. And to some extent, it also meets it, the Stephen King movie the novel that was turned into a ridiculous clown movie. Stranger Things finally concluded its 10-year-long run on the 31st of December 2025 in a 2-hour episode as its season finale. And oh my god, let me tell you, let's get down. Unless you've already seen Stranger Things until the very end, please feel free to sit this one out. But don't forget to like, share, comment, and let me know who your favorite Stranger Things character is. In the 2 hours that you watch the season finale to Stranger Things, there is not a moment of boredom that hits you thinking, oh, I want to close the show, I don't want to know what happens until the end. That's probably because of how well written the story is. Like, it keeps you on edge constantly. That is one of the good parts that I found about the season finale. Going into the season finale, I wasn't expecting it to see an inspiration of sorts that was being drawn from so many places. Kind of reminded me of Harry Potter meets Lord of the Rings meets Elfenlied. And to some extent, it also meets it, the Stephen King movie the novel that was turned into a ridiculous clown movie. That being said, all of the characters have been portrayed so well, they're so well written, and everybody does a fantastic job of acting. I especially love the character played by Rockin' Robin. I think she's hilarious, she is fun. And Steve Harrington obviously does a good job of being the unofficial father of the gang in general. And in the season finale, at least in this season you do see Dustin still trying to process that Eddie is no longer alive and, not doing well. If in case you've seen season 4, you'll know that Eddie kind of goes away forever. And his gang is trying to obviously be supportive, but that doesn't help. You'll obviously see Dustin taking a lot of Eddie into the season finale sorts. Overall, the group has some wonderful chemistry, which is very clear in the way they act. You also see Will being very clear and open with his emotions finally. You also find out that he doesn't like girls. In fact, he swings the other way. And you will also see how supportive his friends are, his mom is, his brother is. Everybody in general is very supportive of Will. Now, the part that reminds me of Harry Potter is that, Will starts feeling isolated thanks to Vecna, just like Harry did thanks to Voldemort in book 5. But because Will and Harry both have had such wonderful support systems, Will in the form of his mom, Harry in the form of Professor Dumbledore and his own friends, they kind of both realize that they're not afraid and they're not alone anymore to face what is there to face. One is Vecna, the other is Voldemort. But while I do, the parts that remind me of Lord of the Rings is Mind Flayer. Reminds me of Shelob, except that Shelob is not dead. Mind Flayer is just turned upside down and the Mind Flayer does come alive. Also, it kind of reminds me of Aragog from Harry Potter, when Aragog is dead in book 7, I believe, from what I remember. And the part where it reminds me of it is that towards the end, where the entire gang is all like in Vecna's lair, they all see Vecna and they're all surrounding Vecna. And obviously, because they're no longer afraid of what Vecna is going to do to them, they're like, yo, you know what, screw y'all. This is going to be me. When Mrs. Byers steps in and she's like, yo, you chose to F with the wrong family, kind of reminded me of Molly Weasley against Bellatrix Lestrange. The only thing I will say though is that the way Vecna gets taken out is very anticlimactic, which goes to say, with the amount of hype that they created throughout the 5 seasons for Mind Flayer, for Vecna, it wasn't the most overwhelming in the way they showed Vecna, being unalived. Same with Harry Potter. Harry is very famous for his Expelliarmus spells. You would expect him to be a little more flashy towards the end with Voldemort. But, Harry being Harry does the Expelliarmus and does away Voldemort that way. So, yeah, both kind of draw parallels of, doing away with the bad guy in a very underwhelming sort of way, considering they built it up so much. I will say, though, for what it's worth, Stranger Things has kept me thoroughly entertained throughout the 5 seasons, especially towards the season finale. And to be honest, season 1 has been my absolute favorite for Stranger Things. I don't know what it was. Also, I do understand that, the cast does grow up and they grow older. They don't have the same sort of innocence anymore. The storyline has to progress in a more mature fashion, more mature theme. Those are my thoughts about Stranger Things season 5 episode finale. Let me know who your favorite character was. Until next time.